Jesus said to the chief priests and the elders of the people, "Hear another parable. There was a landowner who planted a vineyard, put a hedge around it, dug a wine press in it, and built a tower. Then he leased it to tenants and went on a journey. When vintage time drew near, he sent his servants to the tenants to obtain his produce. But the tenants seized the servants, and one they beat, another they killed, and the third they stoned. Again he sent other servants, more numerous than the first ones, but they treated them in the same way. Finally, he sent his son to them, thinking, they will respect my son. But when the tenants saw the son, they said to one another, this is the heir. Come, let us kill him and acquire his inheritance. They seized him, threw him out of the vineyard, and killed him. What will the owner of the vineyard do to those tenants when he comes? They answered him, he will put those wretched men to a wretched death, and leaves his vineyard to other tenants, who will give him the produce at the proper time. Jesus said to them, did you never read in the scriptures, the stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. By the Lord has this been done, and it is wonderful in our eyes. Therefore I say to you, the kingdom of God will be taken away from you and given to a people that will produce its fruit. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Please all be seated.
How are you? Today, in a special way, you are very lucky because, tomorrow probably, we are not very sure, but anyway, so all depends on the weather. That is why you are lucky. You are lucky. So it's only we are still only number 3. I still remember one phrase of one of my professors told in the classroom. I still remember. It is more than 20 years, but I still remember. He said one thing. If you want to know what type of person, if you want to know the character of the person, if you want to know what qualities or what kind of person, how do we know? He said, give that person power. The power reveals the personality of the person. The power will tell you if this person is good or bad. The power will tell you if this person is caring, loving or not. The power will tell you if this person is responsible or not. The power will tell you if this person is accountable or not. Because the power can teach or can give a lot and lot of lessons. And when somebody is in power, when somebody has power, you can see how this person behaves. Is he using the power to really serve the people, to really love the people, or is he using the power to really abuse the people or not taking care of the people? So the power, the word is very powerful. So the power, if you want to know somebody, give the power, and the power will reveal the character, the personality of the person. I'm sure you will understand, this in our own daily ordinary life. Why I am saying this one? Because in the gospel today, Jesus is telling another parable about the kingdom of God. 2 Sundays back we heard the parable. These last 2-3 Sundays we are hearing the parables about the kingdom of God. And Jesus, 2 weeks back, he said there was a owner of the vineyard. So he goes in the morning, afternoon, evening, and invites people to work in the vineyard. And at the end, he gives the equal wage, what he thinks is just. But somebody could not digest, and they were very angry because the owner of the vineyard was generous. Because I am generous, you are jealous. That is the answer of the owner. Because I am generous, therefore you are jealous. And last Sunday we heard the gospel about the father telling the two sons, go and work in the vineyard. And one says yes and one says no. The one who said yes did not go. The one who said no went. And Jesus said very clearly, the tax collectors and the prostitutes will enter the kingdom of God, will be accepted by God because, the reason, they have converted from their life. They have realized the mistake and they have converted. And in today's gospel, Jesus tells us another parable about the kingdom of God. He says like the vineyard. He is using the image of the vineyard. And so, the owner of the vineyard, he prepares everything. And he gives for a lease to the tenants. So what does it mean? The land, the vineyard belongs to the owner. The land does not belong to the tenants. The tenants are only for temporary to take care of the vineyard, and as per the agreement, they are supposed to give what belongs to the owner at the end, the produce. So that was the agreement. But then, when the tenants took over the land, the vineyard, what happened? They became powerful. Because they have in their hand the vineyard. So they are responsible to work. They are accountable for this vineyard. So what happens is that instead of being grateful to the owner because he has trusted, he has believed in them, and he has given for a lease this vineyard. So instead of being grateful, they have become ungrateful. So the power led them to be ungrateful because they think that they are the owners of the land. They want to grab the land by force. So they want to become more and more powerful. So the power, the problem of the power. So they have become more powerful. They are ungrateful. So what happened is that when the owner of the land, vineyard, sent the servants, how they treated, they started stoning one, they killed someone, they mistreated everybody. They have mistreated everybody. So they have forgotten about the agreement. They have forgotten about, the relationship between the owner and the tenants. They have forgotten completely. And so they started behaving in a bad manner. They started behaving in a wild manner because they started killing the servants who came to collect the fruits, who came to collect the produce. So Jesus is telling, finally he sends the son, thinking that they would respect. But then what happened is that their mentality never changed. And their mentality is a power mentality. That has never changed. And so the real character came out. So what happens? Let us kill this son so that we can have this land for ourselves. Because after the father, who gets the land? The son. So what happens if we kill the son? What will happen? We are finally the owners of the vineyard. We are finally the powerful people. We become powerful. So what happens? They have killed even the son. So this is the power mentality. So finally, Jesus said that what will happen at the end when the owner realizes or when the owner decides something? Surely he will punish them. He will punish because they have spoiled the relationship between the owner and the tenants. The owner has a trust in them, but they do not have the trust in the owner. And the owner loved, and so he had an agreement, but they want to become more and more powerful by force. They have become ungrateful people. They have never realized the blessings that they had. And so, finally, they have become ungrateful. When you become ungrateful, what happens is that you will not produce any fruit. There is no fruit, there is no result because of the ungratefulness. And so, this is the parable that we heard. And how can we understand today the parable? How can we understand? The same thing can be applied to our lives, you know. And so the land, the vineyard can be the life, our life. So the life comes from God, and life is a beautiful and precious gift of God to each one of us. And we are the tenants, or we are the stewards of our life. We are the owners of the life. So God has given us this blessing. And then God also said, this blessing is given to you so that you may work hard and give me something back. So what we are today is God's gift for us. The life that we have today is God's gift for us. And what we become, will be our gift to God. What we become, what we do with this life, will become our gift to God. So, dear brothers and sisters, we have to always think that the life is very precious, beautiful, with all the ups and downs, with all the positive and negative things. Life is still beautiful. We have to respect. We have to understand that this is coming from God. Therefore, when it comes from God, it is holy, it is precious, and we are supposed to use in a good way. So we are the tenants. We have to work hard and give back to God something, because God has made an agreement with each one of us. So we have to be grateful, grateful to God. We have to understand that there is a relationship between God and us. There is a relationship. There is a trust, there is a care, there is loving. And so we are the stewards of this life. God has said, you are the tenant, you are the steward. And when you are a tenant, when you are a steward, you are responsible and you are accountable for life. So therefore, what you become, what you do with this life will be, you are a gift to God. So therefore, dear brothers and sisters, this parable is very meaningful for each one of us. It tells us directly about our life. It tells us directly about our life. Because many times we don't consider, we take it for granted. We take it for granted the many blessings that we have in our life, even the gift of life. So therefore, it is a reminder for each one of us. Be grateful to God.